Imagine having a wife with abs and huge knockers, and you still somehow fumbled. Like, you got her to marry you, babe, and you still fumbled it. I hope Kyle Cook kicks himself every day. I'm mad.
You know, I honestly don't think some women understand that men don't think like them. Like, I don't think they understand that. Like, because you have to accept it. I think hold on, let me take that back. Maybe they understand, but they haven't accepted it. Because as a man, I know I'm more logical, I'm more solution oriented. And whenever I would be dating, I had to learn that women don't think like me. They're wired differently. Like, I understood it, but I had to accept it. So accepting something like gives room for that person to be how they are, and leaves room for me to be like, oh, I may not understand it. But even furthermore, you know, from that, it's like she's saying, oh, this woman has abs and she has a nice bosom. Okay. What else? Like, it's more to being with someone than their looks. This is not minimizing looks. This is not saying that a woman with abs and a nice bosom isn't a beautiful thing. That's great. It's nice. But does it make existing with her peaceful? No. Now, it can make looking at her enjoyable, but even looking at someone and it being enjoyable is contingent on how much peace you have in a relationship. Because someone can be super attractive, but if y'all not able to get along mentally, if you're not able to communicate, if you're not able to be intimate, and I'm not talking about physical activity, I'm talking about like stimulation and understanding and going deeper, going past the surface level, getting to know each other on a deeper level, to the core, to the root, from childhood, from wounds to like gifts and talents, like getting intimate. If you're not able to do that, it doesn't matter how good they look, you won't be able to enjoy it. You won't be able to have peace. And so when I hear women talk like this, it's like, you don't get it yet. There's so much more that good men look for than just a beautiful woman. Yes, beauty is part of it. Again, beauty is part of it, but there's so much more. You know, icing on the cake is important, but the icing is not more important than the actual baking of the cake and the process. If the icing is good, but the cake is horrible, it's going in the trash. Like, there's nothing deep about it. It's going in the trash. So my point is if she looks good, but she's hard to get along with, we don't have anything. It's the same thing for women. Women can see a nice looking man, but if his mind not right, if he's not patient, if he doesn't talk to her, if she doesn't feel heard, seen, and understood, it's not gonna last long. It's not. So this idea of beauty, and she didn't say beauty was enough, but that's what she led with. Like, oh, he fumbled. We don't know. Not that that matters, but if he fumbled based off her looks alone, then yeah, man, there are other attractive women in the world. You know what I'm saying? It really is. So that's not the point. The question should be like, well, why? But again, it just shows more to me how some people think on a surface level. It's like when I hear women say, oh, I make my own money. Well, okay, well, you're single, so you should make your own money. Well, I went to school and I did this. Okay, well, that's the society we live in. We have to, we have to move in a certain way so that we can make a living and be responsible. Well, I got all that. Well, you should. I'm not impressed by that. Are you kind? Do you know Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Are you Are you the type of woman who says, I'm not trying to fit in the norms of culture? Like, I prefer to, you know, be a lady in the street, you know what I'm saying, and pleasing to my husband in the bed. Like, are you that? Because having money, looking good, having your degrees, all those things are a blessing. I'm not dismissing it, but it's not everything. You know, when we look at the story of Esther in the Bible, you know, sometimes I don't mean to always get biblical on y'all, but sometimes I have to. The reason why in this pagan nation there was a need for Esther was because when the king called for the queen, I think her name was Queen Vashti, she didn't come. And he was like, so obviously, usually when they're queens, they're really, really pretty. They have, you know, people who help them maintain their beauty, and I think they call it like beauty treatment. I can't remember it, but essentially, she refused to come. So she wasn't a queen that did well with him and answered to him in a way that was submissive and honorable. So what do? He's like, oh yeah, we can't have this. This is in a pagan nation. We can't have this. We gotta, you know, make room to get a new queen. So essentially, he had her removed. So it's not about beauty. See, so like women have to ask themselves, what else do I have to offer that makes life peaceful with me when I'm interacting with someone I like? And vice versa, men have to ask that. What else do we have to offer more than looks, more than money, more than degrees, more than assets, more than a nice vehicle and a nice home? What is our soul like? You know what I'm saying? Are we forgiving? One of my buddies who's been married for going on, I think, 15 or 20 years, one thing he said, man, like, Dallas, you have to forgive quickly. He didn't say, oh, yeah, you gotta be buff, you gotta have a whole bunch of cash. He's like, you want a good marriage, you want a healthy marriage, forgive quickly. I hear these things all the time when I hear people talking about marriage, you know? So while some people are talking about abs and a nice bosom, there are others who are saying, what are your virtues like? There's examples in the Bible saying like, hey, you're a queen already, but if you don't act like one, then we're not gonna be able to be king and queen. You're gonna be replaced. It's not a matter of beauty. It's not a matter of money. It's not a matter of aesthetics. It's how peaceful are you in relationship and marriage? That's for the man and the woman, because a man can have a bunch of money, but if he's not peaceful, a woman's not going to be happy. If he's too strict, I've seen it happen. When you run a tight ship, the ship is too tight. Like, you know what I'm saying? They don't feel. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all, I don't want to go on and on and on. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.
Stand on it,